Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool. And welcome to the Toast Reviews. For those of you who don't know how this works, I watch a movie, I put them in the toaster, and I have to talk about the movie before my toast is done. And if it burns, maybe I'll take a strike, because we're still sort of figuring out what happens if I burn it. I've sort of just been burning it, and then there hasn't been a penalty for it, but so I've sort of been, it's not that I've been letting it happen, because I still want to eat toast. I don't want to purposely burn it for any particular reason. But right now you've caught us smack dab in the middle of 90s comic book movie month. Because I wanted to look at the whole phenomenon before X-Men, before Spider-Man, before Batman. So today on the show, we're going to be reviewing Tank Girl, a movie from 1995 involving a post-apocalypse with surrounding a big desert and, you know, evil things. Yeah, I really shouldn't have had this immediately follow Judge Dredd, but there was a way I did it. I should have jogged these around a little bit. But I probably will be talking about Judge Dredd a lot in comparison to this one, as you'll see in a bit. And today on the show, we have French toast bagels. They don't look very appetizing on the screen there, but they smell nice. They smell very nice. And here we go. Okay. Comparing this one to, like, when I was watching the opening credits, there's a lot of names that you'll sort of hear. Like, there's Tank Girl, who's played by Lori Petty, who most of you probably know. She had a few episodes of guest stars on House. She was on Voyager. So, you know, she's done some stuff. Then costumes designed by Catherine Hardwicke, and I didn't actually look her up, but I know I've heard that name before. Based on the comic by someone named Jamie Hewlett. And it's like, oh, Jamie Hewlett created the Gorillas later in his life, didn't he? Well, that's interesting. And then there's Tank Girl, and then there's Jet Girl, who owns a jet. And it's like, what is she? It's like, she's played by Naomi Watts. It's like, I don't think this will be on the Oscar telecast when she gets her Lifetime Achievement Award in 30 years, I don't think. Although if they, you know, if she ever goes on Jay Leno, it'll be, hey, remember this movie you did back in the day? You know. Okay, so on to the actual movie. Okay, so this time the post-apocalypse isn't caused by man, it's caused by a comet. And then no more rain, and then a giant company controls all the water. And Tank Girl is a revolutionary. So they're just trying to survive in their little thing where they are stealing water, but then Water and Power, the company, comes and knocks them over until she begrudgingly agrees, not even begrudgingly, sort of force her to try to find the Reapers, or the Rippers rather, not Reapers, the Rippers who they're people who are been most often trying to get rid of their, you know, trying to stop them from doing the thing. And they're a bunch of mutant kangaroos. This used to be, you know, I think Jamie Hewlett's Australian. This is very, very Australian thing. So here's the thing. Like, I really like Tank Girl as a character. She's bubbly and funny, and she is legit funny at these things. And I really just like Lori Petty myself. And then partway through the movie, they're like, okay, you gotta get photographs of these things. So they bust out there, and they pretend that they're shooting for a calendar for the men of Water and Power. And so they have all these guys flex and take pictures where they take pictures of incriminating things. This wouldn't be out of place in Naked Gun. So here's the thing. The movie's very silly. So then why is the first half an hour establishing how unremittingly cruel Water and Power is? Like, the bad guy in that one is played by Malcolm McDowell, who, poor him, but he's effective. Like, after she gets captured, like, it just shows that these guys are all gleeful and, you know, like, wild, incredible sadists. And I'm like, this doesn't have any place in a movie that eventually gets this lightweight. Like, the only movie I've ever walked out on in a theater in my life was a lightweight comedy that suddenly got sadistically cruel in one of its jokes. Now, I won't mention what, some people probably know which one I'm talking about, but it had one moment that was just so completely against, not that the rest of the movie was funny anyway, but it was just like, wow, you think this is funny? Hang on. Be pushing it. I'm gonna butter them, so I have more time to do it then. So yeah, the movie has a terrible tonal shift. Like at the very beginning, we see them all drinking water out of champagne flutes, and I think that's funny because hey, water, you know. And then when the guy's like, "Oh, we'll take control of this last vestige of Earth that we don't control, which has 3 million liters of water under it," and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but okay, I don't know how many liters are in a swimming pool, so then he starts breaking these displays and forces another guy to take off his shoes and walk across it. And it's like, this is just arbitrary. And then he takes this device and stabs him with it and it pulls all the water out of his body. And that's actually kind of a cool effect. But then Mac McDowell walks back across the glass. It doesn't bother him. And I'm like, okay, you know, just because you're badass doesn't mean, even if you are, which you're really not that Mac McDowell isn't badass. Let me say that. It's characterism. Mac McDowell is extremely badass. And he can probably kick my ass any day of the week. I want to make that clear. You know, this scene just shows some of the stuff is like we're just trying to be cool. Wouldn't it be cool if he sticks his thing in him and it pulls all the water out of his body? And did I forget the musical number that appears in the middle of the movie out of nowhere? Remember the musical number from Marcy X? This one has it's actually slightly more realistic in the sense that it takes place in a dance club and it's a number that she would have known. It's not an original number. But then they make the movie's so dated. It's like, hey, are we done yet? Well, I don't want to miss Baywatch. Or, hey, let's go out, let's go see Cats. Oh. Is there anything from the 90s that isn't extremely dated? I'm just wondering, we're going to look back on Avengers. Haha, they referenced shawarma. Okay, that's getting a little dark. They referenced shawarma. Nobody eats shawarma anymore. I take in all my Arab food in an aerosol can that I put into my nostril. Alright. I'm going to go out and say that I think I enjoyed this one better than Judge Dredd. Because Judge Dredd has some, like, meaningful ideas about authority and stuff that it just fails to sort of deliver on. This one just has a problem with its approach. And I don't know anything. I know nothing about the comic book. That wasn't really the point of this month in the first place, but so it's just I don't know which one of these. I think it might actually be worth watching these both again and sort of comparing and really getting into a deep analysis on which one of these is, if not better, than how they are different when they sort of are superficially similar. This one isn't as expensive as Judge Dredd, where they spent a lot of money looking ridiculous. Oh, connection to Judge Dredd in this movie also, Lori Petty was going to play Sandra Bullock's part in Demolition Man, but there was some disagreement and then she left or she was fired or something. I don't know which, but not that you ever know which with that sort of thing in Hollywood. So as much as I like the character, the movie itself is just a mess. Especially, and I haven't mentioned this part yet, according to Wikipedia at least, certain scenes weren't shot, so they had to cover them up with animation. 2 of them are like fully animated, beautiful things, and a lot of them are just comic book panels that they use. And I'm a little surprised. Well, another time where they're trying to be cool is when Tank Girl cuts holes in her stockings as a means of sort of seduction. I'm like, those stockings should probably be used to filter water or something. I don't know. You really want to wreck them? And I don't know where you found a candy necklace that survived the apocalypse. Okay. I don't recommend this at the end of the day. It really has a huge tonal problem. And if it just cut out the sadism, it would have been light and fun. But nothing in the comics were light and fun in the 90s, were they? They were all gritty and grim and Death Master. We're a gang of mercenaries going to do this thing. We're working for the bad guy. Like that. Alright, anyway. Thank you all for watching. This is King Cool. Drive home safe. Not bad. I'm not actually super hungry right now. It's a problem. Already had breakfast. After the toast and after the crunch, there's the crust. I don't think I made this clear enough. When I say there's a tonal shift and that these guys are sadists, yes, after she gets captured, Tank Girl is tortured. And even though she comes out of it and she's like, yeah, oh, it's good for the back, whatever sort of silly thing she says to try to dismiss it, it's still torture. And I don't want to be all, modern PC on you, but I think we know too much now about the regimes of these, these places where people get tortured for whatever, this and that, to find this an acceptable medium in a movie that is otherwise lightweight and funny. And it's not, and I don't know if we can find it funny anymore. That's like, hey, we're gonna hang you from a rope and shock you with these things. And it's like, well, that would be shocking, or whatever the heck she might say. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, that's just, maybe it's just a 90s thing, or maybe it's just a comic book thing. I don't know.